Hey everyone, and welcome to the second part of our top 50 movies as voted for by you guys. You guys all sent in your top 50s to mftvquestions@gmail.com, and we already did the numbers 50 through 26 last week. It was an exciting array of movies. We talked about our thoughts on each one and where they placed. Tara was a little bit insensitive about a couple of important films to my heart, but
what?
That's okay. Yeah, oh, Tara's here, by the way. That's Tara over there.
Hello.
Yes, I'm Pure, for the record. So, yeah, this is what we're going to do. So we're going to start at number 25. We're going to work our way down to number 1. This is the second half. So again, go back and check out the first half. And obviously, once we get to number 2, I'm going to go all the way back and reveal numbers 100 through 51 and then recap 50 to...
So buckle up, because this is going to be a 3-hour tour.
Yeah, settle in, guys. Settle in, because we're going long on this one. Here we go. Nice and smooth. Just like that. So I almost clicked stop recording there. That would have been bad. So here we go. Right. Without further ado, number 25. Are you ready, Tara?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep sniffing. I'll stop.
Yes. Tara may or may not be drinking some wine, mainly due to popular demand.
It's only because the first video was such a success and I was drinking gin, so now I have to keep going. And this will be the last time I do this for these videos, though, because I get a little embarrassed about myself when I'm a little drunk. And it's red wine, so my teeth are going to turn like wooden color. I'm going to look like George Washington by the end.
So
that's an American joke. I know you don't get it because you're Scottish.
I got it from context. It's fine. I can deduce. Deducing happened. Well, deductions. You know what I mean? Look, shut up. Right, number 25.
Who's drunk now?
Who's drunk now, dog? That was a quality reference. If I don't pat myself on the back there for that one. Number 25 is The Godfather Part 2.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed. But I've never seen the Godfather trilogy.
Whoa! Oh, there we go.
I know. This has been like that stain on my resume of movie fan.
What's funny is that because I actually listened back to part 1, and there was only 2 movies I think out the whole list you hadn't seen. So you got 23 out of 25 in the first half.
Yeah, Old Boy
and Diabolique, I think, were the only 2.
Yeah, Diabolique.
So, yeah, that's not bad going. So we'll see how many it is in this one. But, yeah, Godfather Part 2 obviously is a classic. It's one that's well regarded. Some people think it's better than the first one. I actually haven't seen it in like 15 years, so I really can't comment on it too much. But I
know the music. Nee, 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 nee.
Do you know, I'll be honest, when that started, I'm like, this sounds way off. But by the time you got to the end of it, I actually kind of clicked out of place. I was like, all right, okay. You got there.
It's hard to do an impression of a violin.
So, no, I mean...
Actually, I have one. I might be able to play it, but no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, that's a bad idea. I think that's a bad idea. But, you know, Godfather Part 2 is often considered as one of the best sequels, is maybe the first great sequel of cinema. And Dawn of the Dead didn't happen yet, so yes, I guess that's true. I guess that's true. Great sequels hadn't happened yet. That wasn't a thing. Oh, actually, no, wait a minute. What am I talking about? For a few dollars more and Good, the Bad, the Ugly both were already out by this point. No.
Yeah, but they're so standalone.
Yeah, they're not technically sequels.
They use the same actors, but they play basically different people. I mean, Angel Eyes is in both of them, and he plays different villains. He dies in like both of them. So
yeah, you're right. It's not quite the same rules. Even though we consider it a trilogy, it's not quite the same ballpark. But yeah, you got the flashbacks with Robert De Niro. Al Pacino's continuing his reign of sort of up the ranks at the top. But yeah, there's a solid movie. I can't really fault it. It's a very long movie. I do remember watching these for the first time back in high school, like sort of like having to carve out like a whole night for each one. Just because
there was like a 6-hour cut of it on HBO a couple of years ago that I meant to watch, and 6 hours, so I didn't do it.
I don't think that should be how you watch them the first time. I think you should watch them the first time as just 1 and 2, as they were originally intended.
I should just do it. I should just make a day and just watch them all.
Watch Godfather. Yeah. So that's number 25. Number 24 is Jaws.
Ooh. Yeah, it's a great movie. I love it.
It's Jaws. Arguably Spielberg's best movie.
Yeah. I think every time I watch it, I go, "This is my favorite Spielberg movie," and then I go, "No, wait, Tara, you're forgetting about the other ones that you love." But yeah, it's perfect. I love it.
Yeah,
I love the dynamic between the three leads and the quality of the dialogue in it is so good. Just you can listen to Quint tell stories for the entire film, and you'd be like, "This is a perfect film without the shark."
Which breaks rules of cinema. That shouldn't be possible, and yet somehow it is.
It is.
The movie, like, it's another example that I was bringing up last time about how some of the best movies are just B movies that a good director decided to treat like an A movie, and that's what this is. It's a good director saying, "Hey, no, I'm going to treat this with class," despite the fact that it's a movie about a rubber shark trying to eat people. And this is what you get, and you get knockoffs, and you get other things trying to imitate. My favorite of which might be The Car, which is not even in the water. It's a movie about a car that stalks people, but the structure of it is beat for beat Jaws. It's kind of impressive. So, you know,
a car that eats people, like Christine.
Doesn't eat people, just kind of tries to kill them by running them over, I think. If I recall correct, it's been a while since I watched it, but James Brolin's in it, Josh Brolin's dad.
Oh, so it's like kind of classy.
I mean, it's classier than some movies. I wouldn't say it's super classy.
James Brolin. I think I met him. Is he married to Barbra Streisand?
Maybe? I don't know.
I was working at my first job was at a movie theater, and the movie Barbershop had come out. And Barbra Streisand came in with a really handsome older man. And I think it was James Brolin.
That was a loud engine that just went past. I want everyone to know. Yeah. Yes, Jaws is a classic, and for good reason, because it's suspenseful, music's iconic. You can't not hear the dun, dun, dun. Yeah. So.
Okay, I'm not going to do the themes to every movie we picked, just so you know.
I don't know. That's 2 in a row. You probably should keep trying to go. See if you can keep it going.
Yeah, that's too much of a commitment.
Yeah. Okay.
And eventually, I'm going to get stumped.
Well, maybe you'll be stumped here. Number 23 is Goodfellas.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. I don't know the music. I probably would if I heard it. Actually, I've seen it enough times. I can't believe how many times I've seen The Goodfellas and not The Godfather. But I've seen it a lot.
Yeah, there's kind of like two camps. There's kind of like the Godfather people who think The Godfather's better, and then there's people who think Goodfellas is better. Obviously,
well, I don't know. I can't say which one's better. I've only seen one, but yeah. I do think Goodfellas is great.
Joe, it's very good. I don't think I hold it in the same regard as a lot of people do, and I think it's maybe because I just don't like gangster stuff as much. But like, you know, I've got other Scorsese movies that I'd rather like put higher than this. But it is what it is. I you know, it is a really well told movie. You know, I've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci's great in it.
He is. I think he's maybe better in Casino. I think that one I like a little bit more.
Yeah, okay. I've only seen Casino once, but yeah, I remember that.
It's kind of like it's very much like if Scorsese makes his Dollars trilogy where he just uses the same actors but in different roles, then it would be probably Casino, Goodfellas, and whatever The Irishman is going to be.
Yeah, I was going to say The Irishman's kind of completing that then, because he actually got Joe Pesci out of retirement to come back and you know, do it. So we'll see. I like Goodfellas. I would not have it in my top 50, or my top 100 even, but that's purely down to kind of taste more than anything else. Maybe.
Yeah. I watched The Wolf of Wall Street recently, and I think that's my favorite one that he's done. But like, I think it's very much there's a lot of Goodfellas in The Wolf of Wall Street also. I couldn't help but notice it the last time I watched it, is how much it reminds me of Goodfellas. And I think it's just the tone of it is kind of like these people are horrible and they do terrible things and they're criminal, but it's just so fun to watch.
Yeah,
And even when bad things happen, you're just like along for the ride.
yeah, there's energy to it. You kind of get into it and
Yeah.
just follow their journey, whatever it may
And
be.
there's always the narration and the Brooklyn accents. It's so Scorsese.
Yeah, so Goodfellas is number 23. Number 22, The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, here it is.
And why do I sound happy? I sound happy because honestly, this, like, I could have seen this being in the top three, if not number one. Like, I could totally see that. So,
Ooh, I wonder if I should keep my number one pick as The Dark Knight for our crew. Here comes an ambulance. Maybe they're chasing that guy that sped by earlier.
Yeah, maybe. Not that the ambulances typically do that, but yeah, sure.
Well, there's cops, and it wasn't an ambulance, it was cops, actually. I saw the blue lights.
Well,
Boys in blue, get them.
maybe we'll have more updates on the high-speed chase that's happening outside Tower's window. So, no, obviously we expected that Empire would rank high because it's Empire Strikes Back.
I'm surprised it ranks higher than A New Hope. I'm assuming A New Hope is on here. Better be.
We've not had it yet. I mean, you were here for the first half.
Yeah, we had Return of the Jedi in like number 40 something.
Yes, that sounds right.
And I thought I thought Empire Strikes Back would be, and Star Wars would both be on the list still. So if Empire is here now, that means Star Wars is coming up later, which is good, or it's been omitted completely, which is bad.
Yes. We'll find out by the time we get to number one, won't we? I love the idea that we'll get to number one and it'll be like, well, either it's Star Wars or it's this other thing, and you'll be like, oh, it better be Star Wars, or unless you like the other thing more, which is possible. But
if it's on people's number one,
yeah, obviously Empire is a great movie. I don't like it as much as the original Star Wars. I think because it splits the characters up, and I like the adventure sort of feel to the first movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people really like the Luke's training on Dagobah a lot.
Yeah, that's the worst part of the movie, but I mean that's neither here nor there.
Oh, really? No, I disagree. Although I don't know what the best part is. I don't know. I think it does the impossible thing where it makes a sequel that people like. Yeah, it's really, really hard to be a movie sequel, and this one succeeds. And it takes the characters you like and it expands on it, and it's interesting, and it's not a retread of the first film. And I like it. My favorite's still Star Wars, so we'll see if it's on here.
Yeah. Also, it has Boba Fett in it, and I hate Boba Fett, so I mean that's something that has to be mentioned.
Boba Fett's just so overrated.
Yes, like everyone.
He was a really cool toy that did not deliver in the movies.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get the Boba Fett love. It's weird to me.
I don't get it either.
But
I've asked people to, and they haven't been able to explain it to me.
Yep.
He just looks cool. Okay. Please, audience.
Yes.
Tell me why.
Yep. No, that's just Tara once again showing why she's on this show. She has a correct opinion on Boba Fett.
I don't get it. Although The Mandalorian looks good. I'll watch that.
Sure. But that actually will develop a character potentially over, 10 episodes or whatever it is.
Well, the prequels developed Boba Fett, right?
The prequels developed jack shit. I don't.
You're right. If anything, it just muddled things up and made them more confusing. What?
Dear.
Wait, all the clones are Boba Fett? What am I watching? Somebody buy this off of George Lucas and fix it.
I just remember senates and talking about councils and trade federations. And
I like the politics in it, actually.
Oh God, no!
It's the only thing that in the prequels that's at least consistent.
Oh,
and
no.
matches the original.
the adventure of Star Wars. You know, the trip to the Death Star, hiding from Darth Vader, getting the prequels. Well, there's a trade dispute, so we're sending two Jedi to police the trade dispute. Oh no, some robots attacked them.
Okay, except we know in real life that people can be swayed by rhetoric and big words in a council, in a senate, or in a political election. And that is truly where the evil lies in the world. So
in concept, yeah, I don't disagree, but it still has to be entertaining. Has to do something. Has to be fun. Has to do anything.
I think it's good. It's a good lesson for kids to learn. Pay attention to politics, kids.
Yeah.
Don't listen to rhetoric.
Yeah, watch the Star Wars prequels and assume that when you grow up to be about 20, your hot nanny will stay the same age, and then if you just berate her enough, she'll eventually give in and wear a dominatrix outfit. That is the lesson to learn about.
Oh yeah, and then she actually ends up barefoot and pregnant by the third one.
Yeah. Now, that's the thing about the second one. Like, the entire council, like, recognizes that there's some sort of attraction going on, and, like, under no circumstance can we allow you two to be romantically involved. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to send you to the most romantic-looking planet in the galaxy on your own to spend time together. And then Padme's like, no, we can never be together, but so I'll come to dinner wearing a dominatrix outfit. What?
Oh boy.
I'm just saying.
Well, Empire's good.
Yes, Empire is much better than what we're talking about now. Let's move on. Let's move on to number 21. Oh baby, here we go. Some good shit. Finally, Mulholland Drive.
Oh yeah, cool.
Love it. My favorite Lynch movie. It is hypnotic. It is a great story about dreams and the loss of dreams and trying to recapture dreams and not accepting your reality. Yes, it is beautiful. Music's fantastic as well. Full of great performances, and it's got obviously that Lynch touch of just making it that surreal, offbeat kind of thing that feels so unique compared to everything else.
Yeah, it definitely has style. I haven't seen it since I was a kid because I watched it way too young.
Yeah, that's probably way too young for Mulholland Drive. Yes,
I should probably watch it again.
Mulholland Drive is really good. I like the movie is. It was kind of a transcendent thing for me because I kind of like avoided David Lynch for a while because I'd heard he was weird, and then like I kind of took the plunge. So I'm going to try some David Lynch, and when I watched Mulholland Drive, I went, "Oh my god, I've been an idiot. Why was I avoiding this? This is great. This is so unique and wonderful." And
what did you think you'd be too art house or something?
Yeah, like I was at that age that maybe I hadn't like dove deep into like certain like types of weird cinema, and obviously by this point David Lynch doesn't even seem that weird to me by comparison to some other stuff that I've seen, but you know it was kind of that first step into that world, and so it means a lot to me because of that. So
I always mix up Lynch and Fincher. I do it all the time.
Well, this is a David Lynch film just to keep us on track. Yes, with Naomi Watts and Laura Harring, and lots of other people.
Naomi Watts is in it? Oh my god, she must have been so young.
She's like the main character.
I really don't remember. I saw this like right when it came out on HBO.
Yeah, she's like
when I was very young.
Yeah, she's like 21
and
or something.
I don't really remember very much of it. I remember thinking I'll probably watch this again when I'm older and I'll get it.
Yeah, that's a good movie. So number 20. I mean, I could have done with Mulholland Drive been above this one, but number 20 is The Avengers.
Ooh, you would say that to a Joss Whedon film?
I love Joss Whedon, but it's a Joss Whedon through a Marvel filler. It's not a raw Joss Whedon film.
Yeah, but I mean, we saw this movie in theaters.
We did, yes.
And there was nothing else like it. You know, seeing it in the theater. I remember leaving the movies and like smiling ear to ear and going, I have never experienced anything quite like that before.
Oh, it was an experience. I remember I went back and seen it the very next day because I was like so jazzed about just the idea of it coming together, and it feels like not even that special anymore because we've had like 20 other movies since then. But Like it was special
It
at the
was
time.
special, and I think it's easy to forget how special it was.
Yeah. That said,
Of course,
though,
it's a formula that's been repeated over and over and over again
yeah,
for a lot of other movies, which is why when we get something slightly different in the Marvel universe, we just hold on to it like, ooh, this is new. It's not just the Avengers again, or it's not just Iron Man again, you know?
yeah. Although I'll make this very clear: Serenity is a better film than Avengers. I'm just going to throw it out there.
It's hard for me to do that right now.
Excellent
I'm a little
comeback. Excellent.
dry from the from the wine.
There you go. There you go. You got it. You got the fart lips eventually.
Yeah, that's what I think of your Serenity film.
Serenity. Yeah. We no, Avengers is special, and it was a big deal at the time. It's not. It doesn't rank as high for me as it used to. Like when I did my top 100, it didn't even make my top 100. I made the call
Oh, wow.
that it's. I still love it. I still love it a lot, but ultimately, like as time has went on, it's like okay, it's a big deal for pop culture, but I don't think the filmmaking itself is like something that I cherish and kind of hold dear on its own, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it deserves to be on the list of the top 50. Maybe it's a bit high, but I mean, it's not like I wasn't expecting that.
Oh yes, Tara made predictions at the start of the video. She was let's start our last video, the first part. Yes, all ready to be proven right.
There are movies in the Marvel universe that I would even put higher than this, but it's only because it doesn't feel as special as it did when it came out. But when it came out, it was special, and I think it's easy to forget that.
All right.
Yeah, it's good.
Number
I think
9.
it's good here.
Number 19. Psycho.
Ooh, you just reviewed this one.
We did, yeah. We just did this on Screams. Came out last Sunday. Actually, by the time this goes up, Psycho 2 will be up already. So yeah, a Sunday ago. But
I haven't watched Psycho since forever. I can't remember when I last saw it.
I mean, it's a straight up 10. Like it is a masterpiece. Like Hitchcock knows how to direct a movie. He knows how to misdirect. He knows how to use motifs.
Yeah, misdirect is a big thing in Psycho too. Like, I don't remember much about the movie, but I remember being very surprised of all the twists and turns that happened in it, because I thought it being a film that I had heard about for so long that I would already know everything that happened because you see all the classic scenes, and but it's not even with just knowing what happens to one of the characters in the film, like there's still so much in it that you can't see coming.
Yeah. No, it's the impact's not diminished either. Watching it again recently, like the build up to what happens just works even better. Like, and you forget certain little story beats about the character. Like this, like, because you're following this character who has done something bad. She's on the run, and she just kind of stumbles into a horror movie. Like, it doesn't start off as a horror movie. It starts off as a Hitchcock thriller. It's just sort of typical Hitchcock character on the run, and then it's like, oh no, she stumbled into something completely new. Because that's the thing to remember. It's not like she stumbled into a horror movie that audiences at the time would go, oh, she just walked into a slasher movie. No, they'd never seen that before. So it was like she stumbled into a new type of movie that no one had ever seen. And that was
right. And I know you brought this up in the review because I did listen to it, because Screams After Midnight is a really great podcast, and you guys should listen to it or watch it. But yeah, and you're right. One of the points you brought up was this was one of the first times where they brought horror out of like Transylvania, out of the Gothic castles, and they moved it into your neighborhood, or you're not safe, at a motel all of a sudden. There are dangerous people who just look like everyday upright citizens.
And do you know what little bit of trivia just encapsulates all this? What you're saying here about it coming home and coming into the real world? This is the first film, at least from America, that features a toilet seat.
Oh.
There literally isn't a toilet seat on screen in cinema from the US before Psycho.
Revolutionary.
I know. It's baffling to think about. But even the way Norman's character refers to it, because he can't even refer to the bathroom as a bathroom. He gets kind of nervous and he can't call it anything. And Marion's like, in the bathroom? He's like, yeah. But no, it's a gorgeous film. It's well paced, well edited. Whole thing is a masterpiece, start to finish. So that is Psycho. Number 18. The second movie that Tara's not seen in this list because it's The Godfather.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There's going to be some.
Yeah, that's the second one this time again. So, hey, if you
I swear I'm a movie fan. I'm going to watch him eventually.
Hey, I mean, if you've seen 46 out of 50 by the time we get to the end of this, then that's a pretty good going.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I know the Godfather is a must. I'll watch him.
The Godfather. What is that? The kiddie version?
The Godfather.
No, I mean obviously Godfather. I actually like the first Godfather more than the second one. I very much.
I do that too. I like first.
Yeah, I just something about the story for me works better because it is kind of like, you know, Al Pacino's character goes from being this reluctant character who's not a part of the family business to becoming the Godfather by the end of the movie. It's for me, it's the best arc of the three films, but not that anyone really sticks up for the third one that much, but you know.
Yeah, nobody does, as far as I know. I haven't watched it, but apparently Sofia Coppola is the worst.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember it well enough to actually
have
an opinion on that, but yeah, she is a good director sometimes.
She makes good wine. This is not her wine, but she does have a vineyard.
Good to know. Good to know. So yeah, well, we'll leave Godfather there because we talked about the first one. Obviously, James Caan's in here as well, who I like a lot.
Oh, I got to meet him once too.
Ah.
James Caan. He was at a friend's bar mitzvah.
Excellent.
Hollywood Tara.
So, no, we'll leave Godfather there. We'll move on then to number 17, The Shining.
Oh. I mean, I love Kubrick. I'm not going to say this doesn't deserve to be there. The Shining is kind of interesting because my best friend growing up, her and I would go to Blockbuster, which is a place that you used to be able to get movies from. Because back in the day, you couldn't just decide you wanted to watch a movie and then all of a sudden it's on screen. You had to like go find it. So every weekend we would have a sleepover and we would go to Blockbuster and she would get The Shining and I would get something else that was very different from The Shining, usually like a comedy or something that I wanted to see that I hadn't seen yet. But every week we would get The Shining plus something else, and so I watched it a lot. And you know, it's Kubrick, and it's funny, like even as a kid when you watch it, you know it's special, even if you don't really understand why.
Oh yeah. Shining's a gorgeous film. It feels so stark and like it really, everything about it aids the setting and what it's doing.
Just oozes atmosphere.
Yeah, and Jack Nicholson is obviously like, you know, next level with his performance. He's like, it's almost the role he was born to play.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that one of the complaints from Stephen King is that they cast a guy who already does crazy too well?
I think Stephen King
crazy.
I think Stephen King had a lot of complaints about that movie, but yeah, I think that was one of them.
Well, I think even he can admit that he was wrong at this point.
I don't know. I love the movie though. How good an adaptation of the book it is notwithstanding here. The movie on its own is just fantastic. Relevant. Yeah. So
Stephen King is great at ideas, but he's not really great at like delivery when it comes to it. Like even his books kind of fall flat. The ones I've read anyway.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
That are good.
Whole
meta the ones that take liberty from it.
Do you not remember that whole meta subplot in that chapter 2 about ending sucking?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point. Like he has really great spooky ideas, but then when it comes to the actual like payoff of those ideas, they don't really pay off that well.
I love how his attitude is now just, yeah, my endings suck, lol, deal with it and buy my book. That's the attitude.
I mean, he's not a bad author though. I mean, I like he just turns out so much material.
Yeah.
There's bound to be some things you like. I mean, Shawshank Redemption is Stephen King.
Of course, yeah. No, it's really iconic moments as well. You got the creepy girls, you got the naked granny, you got, you know,
blood coming out of the elevator.
Yeah, oh yeah, the big pools of blood, which was literally the teaser trailer for the Shining was just that scene of the blood coming out the elevator. That was it. Like that was the whole thing basically. It's like Shining. So good to know. And did you know that the theatrical ending of Blade Runner used unused footage of The Shining from when they're driving up to the hotel?
No.
Yeah, because in the theatrical cut of Blade Runner, they had this tacked on happy ending of like Deckard and what's her face driving happily in the mountains. So some of the shots they used of the establishing shots were taken from The Shining.
Huh.
I know.
No.
That's a bit of trivia for
Did
you.
I know that?
There you go.
I don't know which version of the Blade Runner I've watched.
There's like 5 cuts
I know
of
I don't
it.
really like it very much.
Oh, we'll do that in Ace at some point. Don't you worry.
I know.
We'll
There's a little preview of things to come.
we'll get the hate on that one. Number
After it.
16 is Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
I mean, I'm glad that one of them made it pretty high on the list.
Yeah, we would probably swap the 2 Terminator films, but I mean, like, yeah, Terminator 2 is fantastic. Like, I can't really complain.
Yeah. I think we both gave it like a 9.5.
You did, yeah. It's an amazing movie. It's held up remarkably well. It's just, some of the best action of the 90s, some of the best sci-fi of the 90s.
Yeah, and Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor is such an inspiration. And I love her transformation from the first film to the second film because you totally you get it. Like she's somebody who's taking this threat seriously and is preparing for it and preparing to be the woman who can raise the next warrior. And I do love this film because of her story. And yeah. But it lacks a little something that the first movie had with the love story and the more cyberpunkness of it. Like this one's more of a cool action movie with a lot of heart, but I like the first one that has more of the horror side of it, just a little bit more.
Yeah, but credit to James Cameron for somehow creating a second iconic villain in the same franchise. So we had Arnold in the first one. He's got a
How
new
can you
role.
make anything more threatening than Arnold Schwarzenegger? He figured it out.
He did. He figured something out because he's a genius, that man. So yeah, can't really complain about Terminator 2, which will take us on to number 15, which is something that Tara watched for the first time this year. Seven Samurai.
Oh yeah, it's true. I'm not proud, but yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's a great movie. 10 out of 10.
It's a fantastic movie. The compositions, the real staging of fight scenes with extras and like buildings on fire behind them, and
it's true.
I
love that. You're right. That's a scene that I think about often, and I've seen it before because it's not the first Kurosawa film. I've watched Ran many times. I like that movie a lot, and also a 10 out of 10. I like it. I love that movie a lot. And again, like Kurosawa has such a way with composition where you'll have something in full, like in the foreground and it's perfectly clear, but you also have something in the background that's also perfectly clear, and it's a wide shot and buildings are on fire and samurai are going across the screen and horses are going across the screen. There's fighting. There's so much going on, and they're long takes, and that this is all that they have for the composition, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful film. And yeah, it's a story that works obviously really well because Hollywood keeps copying it.
Yes. It's a very simple story, actually. Again, it goes back to what I say, some of the best movies are simple stories that are just executed flawlessly, with craft and with ingenuity and inventive, techniques and, whatever else.
Likeable characters and yeah.
Yeah.
Great. It's a great film.
Yeah, Seven Samurai is phenomenal. It's hard to fault it. Number 14 is Apocalypse Now.
I gotta say, not my favorite. Even as a war movie fan, it's just not my favorite. It's got a lot of iconic scenes. I think the Marlon Brando stuff at the end is pretty bad, actually. Martin Sheen is not my favorite. in it. I think he's actually kind of bad also in the film. Uh, I know a lot of people love it, and maybe it's just for the napalm scene because I can't figure out really why.
Uh,
Otherwise,
I mean, I like it.
even as a war movie fan, I don't think this is a movie that holds up very well.
I think I like it more than you do, but I don't love it, and I didn't have it in my top 100. And I think, I will say to anyone who's not watched it yet, watch the theatrical cut because the Redux cut is too long and drags the pacing down something awful. Um, so, but no, I think there is kind of a sort of like, this horrible journey element to it, this man versus kind of nature and stuff, and it's you got some good performances and.
Eh. I'm lukewarm on the
It's got
performances.
some.
I especially don't love the Marlon Brando stuff at the end. Like I heard, I heard that the movie was a nightmare to make,
Mm-hmm.
and that is it Coppola?
Yeah.
Coppola was told that he had to use Brando in the film, but Brando showed up to the shoot, and he was like 60 pounds overweight and didn't learn any of his lines and just winged it the whole time. And I think you could tell. I think it doesn't make sense. Like, why would a man who's been living off of rice and vegetables for the last 3 years, stuck on Saigon, be be obese? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And the things that he says doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't like it. I think if you take out Brando, maybe it's a good film, but I don't know. I don't think it deserves to be on the list. I think there are way better war films than this. Watch Paths of Glory, way better war film, and
I agree.
Kubrick.
I agree with Paths of Glory. Paths of Glory is very good. Yeah, I don't dislike Apocalypse Now, but it's definitely one that doesn't really do it for me, and in the way where I would put it, like on this kind of list. But hey, this is your guys' list, and you put it here, so enjoy.
I'm glad there's a war movie represented.
Enjoy,
because war movies are great, and there should be one represented. I just think that there are better ones.
Okay. Number 13 we're on. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
This is a very special film.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very special film.
You're happy with
the
13?
Opening scene where Angel Eyes is just sitting down and eating that man's food, that family's food, before he murders them, just sets the tone of the film. Right away you get that he's the bad. That scene, I know when I watch Inglourious Basterds, in the opening scene where Christoph Waltz is smoking his pipe and drinking the milk, it's taken exactly from there. I can see it. Like, I can see both scenes playing simultaneously. It is so great. This movie for a long time would trump my all-time number one of 2001, and they swapped back and forth throughout the years. But yeah, this movie, if it's not my number one, it's my number two movie of all time. So it's too low is what I'm trying to say.
I love too low. Movie. I think you could be relatively happy with 13. I think that's quite a high spot. Like,
I think this movie's perfect.
It's a fantastic movie. It is. And
simple story. It's the setting that's complicated, and it's really special. Special movie.
And it's this chase across a great journey, or a great distance rather, I should say. Try to get to
one person. There's gold that's buried in an unknown grave somewhere, and one person knows the name of the grave, and one person knows what gravesite. And it's just, even though they're mortal enemies, they have to work together because they both want to get rich. Mm-hmm. And it just happens to take place during Civil War America, in like the heartland of Civil War, apparently, in the desert. I don't know where it is. And it doesn't make any sense setting wise because it also is filmed in Italy, which I guess kind of looks like the American Southwest. Though there wasn't a whole lot of Civil War there. Whatever. I don't care. The story's great. The characters are great. The direction's great. There's so many close-ups, and I love it. It drags out, and the music is phenomenal. I think "Ecstasy of Gold" is my favorite song of all time from any movie.
I'll just concur, and we can move on. I don't think I need to add into any of that.
It's too low. It's my number 2.
Number 2. Number 12 is Rear Window.
Oh, another Hitchcock.
Another Hitchcock, and I actually would agree that it should be higher than Psycho. Although I think they're the 2 best Hitchcock movies. I think Rear Window is kind of like everything I love about a bottle thriller. About just this idea of being a voyeur and catching something you're not supposed to, and then kind of trying to investigate.
It's got some great Grace Kelly outfits too.
Sure, Grace Kelly is a dame.
She has the best clothes in any film is in this movie.
But no,
who gets away with a celery dress or a celery suit? Celery. That shouldn't work, and it's gorgeous.
Are we done with the clothes?
I love Grace Kelly and her clothes. Okay.
I love Grace Kelly out of her clothes. That was a bad joke.
Whoa,
that's a bad joke.
That is a princess you were talking about. Well, it was. She's not alive anymore.
Yeah, it's been a while. But no, Rear Window is like, I don't know. This was one of these movies where I watched it and I went, why have I not seen this shit? It's not even like I was that old when I saw it, that old. But like, it's one of those things where I saw, oh, this is a fundamental movie. Like, this is such a simple idea that it's one of these things where you can tell, just like Seven Samurai, where this has been ripped off tons of times because it's just such a good basic idea. And it's executed flawlessly. I love the opening shot where it just looks around all the neighbors' windows, because it's just setting the scene. This is where he's going to be looking through for the rest of the movie. It's good, and it's wonderfully tense. It's really, really good stuff.
What was that Shia LaBeouf movie that came out that was like a ripoff of Rear Window?
Disturbia.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it so much. How dare Shia LaBeouf do that? How dare he?
I don't blame Shia LaBeouf. He's just trying to get past that Even Stevens reputation. I understand.
Shall we move on? Number 11 is Die Hard.
Oh, cool. This is a cool movie. That's why my reaction was cool.
I mean, yeah, it's for me, it's the sort of quintessential action movie. It is the simple person trapped in a location with terrorists has to run around and try and save the day. That is kind of my favorite formula for an action movie, and Die Hard's what kind of perfected it. And of course, like much like what I just said about Rear Window, lots of copycats, lots of rip-offs. Some good rip-offs. I mean, I enjoyed Under Siege movies for what they are.
Me too. Or Speed.
Yeah, but there's no denying that they are Die Hard rip-offs. So.
Oh yeah, totally. But hey, if it ain't broke.
Yeah, exactly. I have a blast with
I love a good villain that doesn't. It's okay that his accent doesn't match his background.
Oh sure. Yeah, Hans Gruber. Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber is fantastic, and I love
that
he is equal to John McClane in how he approaches things with a serious attitude. But ultimately, the reason why he loses is because for a split second, he lets his ego get the best of him, and that's why John McClane wins. Because
hubris.
One of the other things I love about watching Die Hard now, that I've noticed in recent viewings as an adult, is that everyone in that movie who thinks it's cool to be a badass and thinks it's cool to shoot guns are all the idiots who get killed or get made to look stupid. The FBI guys, the police captain. But John McClane doesn't think it's cool. John McClane takes it seriously, and that's why he wins. It's not because he thinks he's a cool guy. He just is a cool guy.
That's true. And he and the guy on the other side of the walkie-talkie, they never actually meet each other in the movie, but they have this great rapport between each other and great dialogue between each other, where it's kind of like watching a buddy cop film at the same time.
Oh sure. Well, they do meet at the end.
It's a formula that gets used in Lethal Weapon, and it works well.
You've probably seen Die Hard. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you've seen Die Hard.
You should have. If you haven't, watch it this Christmas.
Yes, it's a Christmas treat. Ho ho ho! I've got a machine gun. Um,
Oh, yeah, it's so fun. What a fun movie.
yeah, Die Hard. Which does take us on to number 10. So we're in the top 10 now.
Ooh,
Top
I'll
10.
drink to that.
Top 10, baby. Number 10, Star Wars.
All right.
It beat
This definitely
Empire.
deserves to be here.
It beat Empire.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
I love this one. I love Luke Skywalker. I love his story. I love the music, of course. I love the world. It's so cool to have a future world. I guess not technically future because it's a long, long time ago. But you know, there's something about Star Wars that's so special because it looks so lived in that doesn't really get replicated a lot, even in
Mm-hmm.
new films. Everything looks so new and shiny and clean. And then you get Star Wars, everything looks dirty and things don't work the way they're supposed to, or they're janky. I love it. I love this world. I love all the puppets. I love all the droids. I love the comedy. I love our three main people. And the villain's great. As soon as Darth Vader walks in, you know he's evil. And I love this movie. It's 10 out of 10.
Star Wars for me is always about the three leads. It was all about them going on an adventure and interacting with each other, the bickering between them. All that stuff is what makes Star Wars for me. Which is why I don't care about Jedi Councils. I don't care about the Jedi being a thing, really. I care about these characters fighting against the impossible enemy and
Mhm.
try to survive. That's what I like about Star Wars. So,
I love it. Yeah. I love the first Star Wars.
so there you go.
Great movie.
Star Wars. Number 9, Aliens.
Good call. I would say this is the audience buttering up to you, but what a great movie.
Yeah, you've had nothing like that this half, at least as of yet. Um,
Oh no. I mean, maybe Mulholland Drive.
but I feel like Aliens is. I love that this beat Star Wars. I love that this made it to the top 10 because Aliens is my number one movie of all time. I think
Aliens
it's
also has that thing where it's just like this is a really lived in world.
it
Like
does.
things are breaking down, everything's leaking for some reason. Even though we're in space. And I love Ellen Ripley, of course. And it's such a smart way of getting her back to the alien where she's basically tricked to saying like we need your expertise so that we can stop this thing and kill it, nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
They can bill me. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call.
bad call.
No, that movie is Aliens is perfect. I don't really have. I can't really say. I mean, I've reviewed it before. I'll review it again because we're going to do an Ace. You know, we're going to go through the
Yeah.
Alien franchise because of course we are. We have to.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's definitely in my top 10. I like much like the Terminator and Terminator 2, I often go back and forth between whether or not this is my favorite or
Mm.
Alien is my favorite because they are kind of they have a similar trajectory where the first one is very much a horror film and the second one is more of an action movie. But I mean, the second one has Bill Paxton in it, so of course it's going to be better.
Bill Paxton and Lance Henriksen. Don't forget.
You're right. Yeah.
So yeah, Aliens is Aliens. Yeah, which takes us on to number 8, Alien. So these two movies are so neck and neck between fan bases that even in our voting for the top movies of all time, they ended up back to back with not much between them.
Yeah, I love Alien. Alien is my father's favorite movie of all time. So it's a movie I've watched a lot. And I of course I have a strong affinity towards Alien. I love that it's a movie where you don't know that Ripley is going to be your lead from the beginning because you get the team, you get the whole crew, and it's such I don't know. It's more like a slasher film that way, right? Where everybody's just dying one at a time until you're just left with
No, it
Ripley.
is. It is.
You have the final girl
It is a
in
slasher
the
movie, but
film.
here's the thing though: in most slasher movies, you can tell from the opening scenes who the final girl is going to be. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
but you don't in
And
Alien. An Alien, like they actually make it feel very evenly spread. Like, oh, maybe it'll be Dallas, maybe it'll be, whoever, who's the
yeah.
final character who's surviving, um,
Yeah,
and
once the captain goes, you're like, "Oh, it's anybody's film."
yeah, and I
Um,
think what I like about Alien as well, apart from the great set design and the great music and the great atmosphere, all that stuff, is that it basically coined a term for something that you do to make people care about your hero. In fact, there's a whole book about screenwriting named after it. It's called Save the Cat, because that's what makes you root for Ripley. Is that
once you save Jonesy.
yeah,
Yeah.
once you save Jonesy, you've earned the audience's love and respect, and they're going to root for her no matter what. So, uh,
I
yeah,
gotta see my own little Jonesy over here.
I love the design of that
Ready?
movie. All right. Oh, look at Jonesy,
Well, his name is Gus. We could call him Gussie.
Jesse. We do
Oh,
that.
what a cutie.
You guys
All right.
don't know how much we had to wait to start recording because Tara couldn't stop going on about a cat and stroking the cat.
Oh my
Um,
God, he's so cute. Every time he does something, I just have to stop and admire it for a little while.
all right, number 7,
Oh, he's so cute.
Back to the Future.
Oh wow, yeah, fun. It's a
Oh,
fun movie.
yes, it is. This is the movie that I always bring up when people say like, "Is there any movie if someone says they don't like it's a deal breaker?" And I'm like, not really. But if I'm going to pick one, it's Back to the Future because I can't imagine any human being being like, "I don't, I hate Back to the Future. I think it's just not very good."
Yeah, it's a blast. I mean, I know that's why you and Connor broke up, is
Uh,
because he doesn't think that they're all that praiseworthy. But yeah, the movie is so fun, and there's a reason why it's been not replicated, but like the tone of it works. I think everything just kind of fell into place for Back to the Future. You know, they had a different person who was cast as Marty McFly, and I've seen that footage of Eric Stoltz, or I think that's his name.
that's yeah.
And and they're right. Like watching it, it's just, the scene is supposed to be funny, but it's not for some reason. And it's not that he's not acting his ass off. He is. It's just wrong. So I think everything kind of came into place correctly to make the best version of this film, and it works. It's great. I love this movie.
Yeah, Back to the Future. I mean, I keep saying movies are perfect up this high, but we're at that point now where we're, at some of the highest rated movies of all time uh, appearing up
You want
here.
to know what my deal breaker movie is?
I think I know this.
It's Predator.
Yeah, it's Predator.
Predator is my deal breaker movie.
Which was scored by Alan Silvestri, who also did the score for Back to the Future, and the music in Back to the Future is also some of the most iconic music of all time. So,
This wine bottle is empty.
whoa,
My teeth are brown.
whoa. So that's Back to the Future. Number 6 is 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Thank you. I just want to take this moment to thank the Academy of Mild Fuzz TV fans. And it's an honor to be on the top 10. Yeah, obviously this movie is my number one, but
Yeah,
um, I'll take 6. This is good.
I don't think this is that far off
I
from
love
where I
this
had
movie.
it.
Every still of this film is a work of art. It says so much about humans and where we need to go. It's relevant today.
Hmm.
I can't wait till we talk about this on the Ace because I have so much to say about it.
Yeah, like you say, everything from the start is just very kind of majestic. Like everything, you could take any still image almost from the movie and put it on the wall and just have it as a framed painting. All the stuff in space looks great. The effects hold up so well. It's a movie that is so exceptionally paced, and the ending is just like, especially once you've thought about it and you think about what the ending means, and you see it again with that in mind the whole film, and you get to that ending, and you know the dun dun dun
Bam, bam.
dun 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 dun. Like when that comes in at the end, it just it's this transcendent moment of like, yes, like others have tried to recapture this and just not quite hit it.
I know when we do it, we're eventually going to do the sequel.
Yeah.
And it's one of those movies where I'm just like, how can you even have a sequel? You can't have a sequel to a Kubrick film, first of all. It's not possible. And second of all,
Doctor Sleep's coming out in like a few weeks.
Huh?
Doctor Sleep's coming out in a few weeks.
Okay, that's right. I forgot. The trailers don't look good. I mean, I'm sure maybe it'll be fine, but like,
yeah,
I didn't like the trailers very much. But Doctor Sleep aside, yeah, like I could see how Arthur C. Clarke would write a sequel to the book, which he wrote because of the movie. Like Arthur C. Clarke worked with Kubrick to write the film, and then he came out with the book the same time as the movie, or around the same time, and then was able to write sequels to that. But the way Kubrick wrote the end and took liberties, like the book came out, I think, right before the movie was released. So Kubrick made changes to the script because he thought that would be a better bottle story for it's a movie about humanity and humanity's next step in evolution, and how we need to like move past the parts where we destroy ourselves, which could be through creation of our own new type of life, like artificial intelligence, which is why it's pretty relevant today, because we're really getting close to that. And I think the fact that there is a movie sequel to 2001, like, is incomprehensible to me. And that would be an interesting discussion on the Ace, I think, when we eventually get to that. But the movie itself is perfect, and it should be a bottle film and shouldn't be seen with any sequel in my book. Anyway, sorry, I'm really drunk and I love this movie.
No, this is perfect. It's hypnotic. I will leave it at that. Tara said everything needs to be said. Number 5 is Pulp Fiction.
Oh, wow. I mean, I guess I was expecting it to be on the list, but not so high.
I mean, this is our 4th Tarantino movie?
Yeah, I think so.
We
had Django, Reservoir Dogs.
And Kill Bill.
Kill Bill, yeah.
So out of 9 movies that he's made, that we kind of count as his 9 movies, 4 of them appeared in this list. That ain't bad.
It ain't bad.
I mean,
way to go, Tarantino.
He's got more movies on here than Hitchcock.
Yeah, I think Tarantino is an example of a fan who makes movies today and still has style and his own point of view of things, and a signature that you don't get from other directors. Like J.J. Abrams is clearly a fan who's now a director, but he still makes movies that look like other people's films, where Tarantino is just like, you're getting a Tarantino movie because you're getting dialogue. You're getting a puzzle, and it's all going to come together in the end and pay off. And yeah, he's a master. This was his 2nd film, I think, right? And,
yeah, after Reservoir. Yeah.
And yeah,
no,
I think it deserves to be on the list for sure of like all-time greatest movies. It's not my favorite of his films, but it's not like I don't think that Pulp Fiction is deserving. Of course it is.
Oh yeah,
my favorite comes from just personal preference.
Yeah, I feel like Pulp Fiction is the one who that usually gets the praise. That usually gets the praise of being the best one. And I don't agree with that either. Like I like at least a couple of them more, but Pulp Fiction is great. It is, again, it's an all-star cast. It's all these things. It was this kind of like, here's cool characters doing shady things,
Yeah.
and getting out of situations and all sorts, and it's really good. So that's number 5. Number 4 is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I mean, if you want fun adventure,
Mm.
gotta
Uh,
go with Raiders.
how many Spielberg is that? Is that 3 Spielberg so far? We had Jaws and we had Jurassic Park. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's the
No,
third one.
Raiders. I
Yeah,
mean, if you're gonna pick three of it from his filmography, I think these are the top three.
yeah, I'd agree with that.
I I might rearrange the order a bit. But they're all pretty close to each other, to be honest. Like, if you just want a fun time at the movies, then yeah, all three of them. Although I don't know, Jaws might be his best movie, but Raiders is just it's just fun, like
Yeah,
from
great,
beginning to end.
great
It's hard not
music.
to enjoy Indiana Jones, like just the character of Indy,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's
good
kind
stunts.
of pulpy adventure in a way too.
Mm. Yeah, it's good stunts, good music. Obviously, Harrison Ford's great. Karen Allen's great. Like, it's full of very witty things. Obviously, everyone remembers the whole sword and gun thing, which, obviously wasn't planned. It was kind of a
Yeah,
on the day thing. Um,
Margot Kidder,
Margot Kidder.
isn't she in it?
No, you know Karen Allen, I'm sure.
What?
Margot Kidder's not in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
She's not?
No,
Who am I thinking of?
Karen Allen.
Karen Allen.
Look it up on IMDb. If you're thinking of the female lead of the film, that is not Margot Kidder.
Really?
Oh my god. Okay, this is gold. All right, we finally hit it. We finally hit the moment where all hell's
I am
breaking
really
loose.
drunk.
Yes. But do you normally think that Margot Kidder's in Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Oh yeah. It is Karen Allen. God, they look so much alike.
Eh. Similar sort of attitude, I'd say. Like I can see Margot Kidder playing that role, but I don't know if they look that like.
Really? Oh my God. I genuinely thought they were the same person.
I was like that with Amy Adams and Isla Fisher for a long time.
Wow. Genuinely thought that they were the same person. I thought she was Lois Lane.
No, there you go. That's
Wow.
Raiders of
I
the Lost
learned
Ark.
something new today. This isn't the alcohol. Like I genuinely have gone my entire life thinking they were the same person.
Whoa! Well, we've just achieved something then, haven't we? Um, are you ready for number 3?
Yeah, we should probably move on from that massive failure.
Number 3, something a bit more recent. Inception. What was that?
I mean, I'm glad the Nolan fans got something on the list, but like, whatever. I'm not a Nolan person.
All right, Inception's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. I went and saw this movie when I was overseas, and it was one of those like, wow, what a great fun time in Riddle that was. It was cool to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt in something that wasn't, I don't know. I hadn't really seen him in anything post Third Rock from the Sun before, so it's kind
Mm.
of cool to see him in that. Um, yeah, fun movie. I'm not really a Nolan person. But
Yeah, I love it. Like, this is one of the best endings for me of like the last like 10 years. I love that
you mean
final
with
shot.
the
Yes, with the thingy. I'm avoiding spoilers, but yes, with the thingy. That moment
with
and the
the?
way it's played. So,
Do you think it? So do you think it was a dream?
well, it's a science fiction movie, so we are going to talk about it in depth at some point. And
Okay.
I have a very in-depth theory as to why the ending's not ambiguous. That's all I'm saying. But
I
I love
can't
it
wait.
because I saw that opening day with a packed audience, and I could feel like the entire audience, like when the title screen hit at the end, like this kind of frustration, but not in a way that they were angry.
Just waiting for something to happen.
But not in the way that they were angry at the movie, more in the like, oh my god, I can't believe they're not going to actually outright answer this thing. And it was
it's
like
true, and I know that there's a ton of like conspiracy theories about whether or not they can hear it fall in during the credits.
but here's the thing though.
You can't, because that would defeat the purpose of it.
But here's the thing: the fact that everyone in that room cared meant the movie did its job. The movie succeeded because everyone.
I'm not going to say it's not a great movie. It is a great movie.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I'm a little over the Nolan thing.
Okay. All right. Number 2.
I think Nolan is a lot of Flash.
That's what I described Dunkirk as, yeah. Number 2.
Dunkirk's great. Dunkirk is definitely my favorite Nolan film.
Oh my god. The end of the first half basically ended with a proposal. I don't know what this second half's ending with, but we're definitely veering in the opposite direction.
About time we even this out.
Number 2 is The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah. I think Shawshank is a really good movie that used to play on a channel called TNT all the time, and people discovered it because of that. It was kind of underrated when it came out and looked over, which is why I don't think it won any Oscars or anything. And but as like the internet started to become more popular and people were watching the movie on TNT all the time, then all of a sudden people were like, wait, this is a great movie. Why is this not like on the best films of all time list?
And now it's literally on every best film of all time list, usually near the top.
On every best film of all time. Yeah. And I'll say, like, I think it's truly a great film with great characters and a great story. It's fascinating to watch.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a wonderful film. There's nothing bad about it. To me, though, Shawshank Redemption is in the same category as like Toy Story, where it's a perfect film for what it wants to say, but it doesn't have much more to say than what it already is. It's a very surface movie to me, and I don't think that it deserves to be like number 1 or 2 on the best list of films of all time. And I think one of the reasons that it's on our list here as the second best movie of all time is just because it's on everybody's list.
Yeah, it appeals to everyone. It appeals to every possible group. It is a wonderful film. I think it's executed basically flawlessly. I had it on my top 100. Not quite as high as this, admittedly. But respectively.
I think 2 is too high, but I think it's too high on like all lists now. Sure. To be honest.
Sure. Well, that's number 2. So what we're going to do now is that normally at this point I recap the list so far, but I'm going to go all the way back to number 100. So 100 through 51 are brand new that you've not heard before. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start all the way back at number 100, and what we're going to do is that after each one, Tara is going to react or respond in a short sentence or even just one word, depending on what she feels like per movie. Let's do it.
Okay.
Quick fire. So here's the results all the way from number 100 of the movies voted for by you guys before Tara passes out. So 100 Monsters Inc.
Oh, all right. Interesting.
99 Back to the Future Part 2.
Oh, I don't think it deserves to be on the top 100.
98 Finding Nemo.
Oh, this movie's so sweet. Oh. Okay, yeah.
97 Godzilla 1954.
Oh, it should be way higher.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad it at least gets some kind of recognition.
96 Dawn of the Dead, the original, of course.
Still thinking about Godzilla. So good.
I'll just say that Dawn of the Dead should be much higher as a fantastic film, and I'll leave it at that. 95 The Lion King.
Oh yeah.
A lot of anime.
I think it's a movie that has a lot of nostalgia for people our age, but I don't know if it's the top 100.
Our age.
Our generation.
Our generation.
Better.
That's better. More accurate.
Asshole.
Number 94. There's a lot of animated movies bunched up here. Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah, Beauty and the Beast was like the movie that I watched before Jurassic Park became like the movie where I became a movie fan,
Mm.
and Beauty and the Beast was just the movie that I just demanded to watch all the time. I love that movie.
90,
I had many birthdays that were Beauty and the Beast themed when I was a kid.
93, Annie Hall.
Bah.
The Wedding is back on. 92, Up.
Overrated. I don't get it. I don't get Woody Allen. I don't get Annie Hall.
You're still
Maybe
on
it's
Annie
because
Hall.
I'm not from New York, or I don't know. It's not for me.
92, Up.
Oh, there's a talking dog. It should be at least number 19.
Do you know what's funny is I actually said that like before you went on your second part of that rant, so it sounded like you were talking about Up and you were like, oh, it's overrated. I don't get it.
Oh, no, 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 no. Up is amazing. Up is really, really good. In fact, I have it, you can't see it, but I have my keychain over there, and there's a house with balloons on it
Oh.
on my keychain. I love Up. Mostly because there's a talking dog.
Number 91, Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
I mean, if you're going to pick a Captain America film, it's the best one.
It is. No, I agree. Number 90, American History X.
Oh, it's a rough movie to watch.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think it belongs here, to be honest.
89,
I think it's ballsy, but it's not like it's not great because it's ballsy.
89,
Sorry.
A Fistful of Dollars.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Yeah, amazing. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's simple. 88, Cinema Paradiso.
I know this is a favorite of yours. I've never seen it.
Director's cut of Cinema Paradiso is delightful and one of the best endings of all time. I'll leave it at that. Number 87 is The Blues Brothers. Everybody
Great.
needs somebody to love, somebody to love. Sugar the kiss, sugar the kiss. 86.
I love Blues Brothers. It's great.
86, Spirited Away.
I've never seen it.
This is
It's in that category of film where I'm just like, I'll skip.
I've seen
that
it.
category being anime.
Yeah, I mean it's a Miyazaki, so it's a better than it's not your Dragon Balls jumping up and firing power blasts and things,
Sure.
shit like
I've
that.
seen
But
the only Miyazaki film I've seen is Princess Mononoke, and that was not my favorite while watching it.
yeah, I wasn't super into that. There's a couple I've seen of his that I think are good, even though they're not necessarily the sort of genre that I love. But they're definitely better than what I typically think of as anime. 'Cause
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely like a filmmaker who has a style, and he has something to say in his movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, they seem a bit more artsy and universal. They transcend the genre that they're in, but they're still, I don't know, it's still there are things that just don't translate well, and I hate to admit it, but I love Japan. I lived there for 3 years. I love Japan. I just don't get anime.
yeah, me neither. Yep. So next up, number 85, The Princess Bride.
Overrated. This movie's so overrated. I go to trivia every Monday, and there's always one Princess Bride question, and every time I'm just like, I don't know. Someone else on the team could get it because they've all watched it a million times. Because for some reason, if someone tells you it's the greatest movie of all time, then everybody believes it, and it's not. It's fine. It's a fine movie.
I saw it for the first time.
It's no better than fine to me.
I saw it for the first time maybe about 8 years ago, and I agree. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. It's not special. Maybe not.
I don't think so either.
Number 84, Gangs of New York.
Oh, this movie is only great because of Bill the Butcher. Bill the Butcher is a great character and a great actor, of course, in Daniel Day-Lewis. But the movie is worth watching because the performance of Bill the Butcher is so good.
Yeah, that was one that I didn't see till like later for some reason. It took me like 10 years to watch it, but it was good when I watched it. Number 83,
5 pints.
This is where, like, you know, entries like aren't necessarily all classics. This is something like, oh no, this is our generation grew up with this and care about it a lot. But obviously, you know, so I don't know how you're going to react to this, but 83 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
This was definitely on your top 50. I know it was.
It was on my top 100. I thought it was on my top 50, but
It's, I don't know. It's a movie that I watched. My brother I have an older brother, and he was a big Turtles fan, like huge Turtles fan. We watched everything Turtles.
a man of refined taste.
But yeah, he's a Canuck and a nerd, and yeah, he loved the Turtles. And I don't know. I never really got into the Turtles that much. Only when I wanted to be friends with my brother did I watch Turtles. So
I think
when
the first
he and I stopped
movie,
being friends, we stopped watching Turtles together.
the first movie, I think actually does hold up. Now, is it top 100 best movies of all time? Probably not, really. But I put it in my list because it means a lot to me. But I do think the first one holds up surprisingly well. It has a sort of darker edge to it. But 82 is Rosemary's Baby.
This is another movie that think is a bit overrated. I get the premise of it is like really, really cool. But I don't think the execution of the film really works for me.
Plus, you know, Polanski, you know, sexually assaulted a 13-year-old or whatever the age was.
Yeah, I mean, I am one of those people who think that you could separate the art from the person. You know, I was at a party today and the song Thriller came on, and I still like Michael Jackson, like his music. I try not to think about the horrible things he did, and I try to just think about the song, you know, and it's one of those things where I didn't really have to think about before, but then the documentary came out on HBO and I'm like, oh, now I don't know, but like, how far back do you go where you like separate art? Like maybe Beethoven was an asshole. I don't know. Maybe he had sex with children. Like I don't know.
That was a bold statement.
That matters at this point, you know.
Well, when I bring that up, it's because I feel like at this point with me, I don't really want to see any more Polanski films, even though I really liked a couple. You know, I really liked Repulsion.
I certainly would not support anything that he comes out with now.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah, I've not seen anything that he's done recently. Like, I just don't care. But like at the same time, I also don't like, I saw Chinatown, I saw The Pianist. Like, even though it was publicly known, I didn't know about anything that had happened. But
I really like Chinatown more than Rosemary's Baby, to be sure. But I
have to be honest, Chinatown never actually did anything for me.
Oh, really? No, yeah. I like that movie.
It'll probably pop up, actually. I mean, I don't remember all these films that are going to be on this list, but it might pop up.
We're both heavy reactions. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Rosemary's Baby, that's 82. 81 is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, this movie's not for me.
Yes.
You know, I'm like, you know, I'm an 80s baby. I won't say when.
Hey, I'm an 80s baby too.
We're both 80s babies, yeah. I won't say exactly when, but I'm definitely an 80s baby. A lot of these 80s films that are classics like this don't mean anything to me. Like I don't really get the appeal of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
There's tons of 80s movies that are classics to me, and I think we agree on a lot of them, but there's just some of them like this.
Well, sure, like Aliens and like
Predator.
Terminator. Yeah, Predator, of course, Predator. But like these 80s movies that are meant for teenagers, you know, yet like young adults, they don't speak to me. We talk
a lot about Predator, Alien, and Predator, Terminator, and Alien. Yeah, that was the Aliens rather. That was the three you just mentioned. Do you know what we don't talk enough about from the 80s and that sort of realm? Commando. Because Commando is a freaking blast, and I wanted to mention Commando. Yeah.
I mean, remember say, no, Arnold? Of course, yeah.
You said you'd let me go. I lied.
Great one-liners. Yeah. Wasn't Commando supposed to be a Rambo sequel?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. I could see it being a Rambo sequel now that you mention it.
Yeah, I heard that. Maybe it's maybe I'm getting mixed up with something else.
And I
thought Commando was a Rambo sequel.
It came out in '85, so it might actually be the second film with I'll Be Back, because obviously Terminator was the first, and I think Commando might actually be the second one to use it. Like or to put it this way, the first one to say that's that's a thing now.
We definitely don't talk about Commando enough.
We don't. We do not.
Can we put that on the ace?
I mean, he walks through that entire island full of bad guys and somehow never really gets hit that badly. I mean, that's kind of science fiction.
It's fiction.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, and also that little girl grew up to be Alyssa Milano, who's like drop dead gorgeous.
I like the idea that we could stretch
the
scope of science fiction enough to include Commando and other films that maybe we want to include. Creed.
I feel like we just
number one is Creed.
I feel like we just established an action movie spin-off that we do like once a month or something like that. Just every so often we'll do an action episode.
Action/war.
Yeah. Anyway, yes. If you want your daughter back, you have to do what we say. Wrong. Commando's so freaking good.
All right, everybody, chill.
I love when, because he's the love interest. Well, she's not really a love interest per se, but like the woman who helps him. Like, I love when she uses the rocket launcher, but she fires it in the wrong direction. It's so good. Anyway, next up, that was Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I agree. I think it's overrated. I like Breakfast Club more. I know you're not super hot in that either, but out of those movies, I like it the most. But
no, those John Hughes movies just don't do anything for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know.
That's fair. This next one does. Number 80. Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
You're right. It does.
It does. It does.
This movie's great. I love it. I'm glad that there's a Star Trek movie represented on here. I suspect this will be the last one, even though it's not my favorite. It's no there's no Star Trek 5.
Oh, honestly, I'd be rooting for Star Trek 4 because that's my favorite. But
yeah, Star Trek 4. Okay, I joke about Star Trek 5 being my favorite because I love William Shatner and it's so Shatner. But Star Trek 4, yeah, is clearly my favorite and the best one.
There's something on the
I
wing.
love Star Trek 2 also.
Yeah,
Star Trek 2 is it's a great follow up to an episode that fans love. It's after Star Trek the Motion Picture, which I think is an underrated movie. I know you do too.
Yeah. I love motion picture. My motion picture is one of the best movies.
The motion picture is great. And but Star Trek 2 gave the fans what they wanted. It gave them like a conclusion to a story for something that was familiar and a villain that was familiar. It gave them the submarine battle in the nebula that was really intense.
I love how this has slowly evolved into just full thoughts on each movie and not the quick rapid fire that it's supposed to be.
I know. Give one word, Tara. One word.
Yes.
You can't let me have one word on Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
I know.
Right? I am the Star Trek Mild Fuzz fan.
Yes.
Okay, fine. I'll leave my piece.
Yeah, number 79.
Okay.
Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, this is another one of those embarrassing things where I have to admit that I've never seen it.
That's fair. It's very pretty, and big vistas.
I know it inspired Spielberg, but I've never seen it.
Number 78 is The Breakfast Club. Yeah, we got your thoughts on that. Number 77 is Blue Velvet.
Oh, interesting. This is another. Is it a Lynch movie?
Yeah, it's Lynch.
Yeah.
With Laura Dern, your favorite.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's in a lot of the new Twin Peaks as well. As Laura Dern, just pointing that out. She's a regular Lynch.
I should watch it.
Lynch actor. Number 76 is my favorite Sergio Leone western, Once Upon a Time in the West.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I agree. I think it's his later one too. One of his later movies, but Good, Bad, and the Ugly is so special.
I like it more than Good, Bad, and Ugly.
Once Upon a Time in the West doesn't quite have the specialness that Good, Bad, and the Ugly has.
I think it's more majestic than the Good, the Bad, the Ugly, which I really like about it. But
I think it's more epic.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the cinematography is more epic. I don't think it quite has the Ennio Morricone score that the
I love
Good, Bad, and
I love the music though, and then like the entrance at the start of the train station, in that shot, the flashback to all the villains killing the people in the farmhouse, and the way they all walk in their trench coats. Oh, it's a beautiful movie.
It's kind of Seven Samurai, isn't it?
A
little bit.
Okay, a little bit. 75, The Usual Suspects.
Yeah, it's okay. Because we also have this thing where I have to admit, I've never really been a huge Kevin Spacey fan.
Sure. Well, yeah,
And
but this
because I
movie,
always thought he was a bit over the top, and sometimes it suits his characters, and that's fine.
has
But
both
there
Kevin
are movies that
Spacey.
suffer because of it now.
Mm, but this movie has both Kevin Spacey and is directed by Bryan Singer, both of whom have now very
I
decorated
know. I just made that big speech about
pasts.
how I can still listen to Michael
Yeah.
Jackson, but then this bothers me still.
I'll be honest, I was never a huge fan of this movie anyway. Like, there's other Kevin Spacey movies I like. I love Seven, I love K-Pax, there's a couple other things, but
K-Pax, really?
K-Pax, yeah, it's Kevin Spacey and Jeff Bridges.
We'll
And
watch it on the Ace, I'm sure.
oh, that's right, yeah, it's actually, it's sort of an ambiguous sci-fi. Like, it's like, is it really science fiction or is it just a crazy man? But that counts, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Um,
Eventually, we'll run out of sci-fi movies. It's not as prolific as horror films.
we'll keep finding them. Don't you worry. We'll keep finding them. But like yeah, I was never a big Usual Suspects fan. Like maybe it's because I didn't see it when it came out. So I mean, I didn't know what the twist was, but the twist didn't wow me. Like when the twist happened, when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay.
Believe it or not, I wanted to see this movie so bad, and my parents wouldn't let me wouldn't take me to see it. So the internet was kind of new,
Mm-hmm.
and so I snuck my dad's laptop, and I downloaded the script, and I read the entire script of The Usual Suspects, and I used like the trailer of the movie that was posted online on like Real Player
Yes.
or QuickTime or
It was
something
probably
to
QuickTime.
like fill in the blanks of who everybody was.
How,
So I've never actually watched the movie.
whoa.
I have the movie in my head because I read it as a teenager.
That is something else. I've never read a script for a movie that get made. I've read a couple of unused scripts that never became something.
Ooh, like the original Alien 3 script.
I haven't read that one. I read the Frank Miller's Batman Year One script for like a Batman origin movie. That was a wild ride. And
I don't think Frank Miller, like he's a great comic book writer. I don't think he's a very good movie script writer.
he's not even a good comic book writer anymore. He's been a bad comic book writer for a long time.
That's true. I tried reading that Batman,
Strikes Again, Dark Knight Strikes Again.
the one he did the same year that Grant Morrison did the Superman
All-Star Batman and Robin.
All-Star, yeah, the All-Star one
the-
with Frank Miller and Jim Lee, and it was just so boring.
Yeah.
Every month I would go to like the comic book stand and be like, really, they're still in the
you
fucking
know-
Batmobile? Like, where are we going already?
Do you know that one? Never ended because it just sort of disappeared and get cancelled. And two, so the story never ended. There was never a conclusion to it. And two, it's infamous because it came up with the scene that everyone always makes fun of still to this day. Have you ever heard the phrase "I'm the goddamn Batman"? You ever heard anyone say that or joke about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes from that
That's from
comic.
there?
Yeah, because at one point, Robin like
I have them still. I think I have the first like 4 that I
Yeah.
purchased, and I was just like, why are we still in the Batmobile?
Robin questions. It's in the Batmobile this happens. Robin questions his authority. I can't remember exactly what he says, and then Batman just says, "Like, are you like stupid? Are you retarded? Don't you know who I am? I'm the goddamn Batman." Like that is
I'm
literally.
gonna look this up because I think I have all my comic books, and I think I have that
Yeah,
issue still.
that is a bubble that is in there. Is so. And apologies for use of the R word. I was just quoting directly, but like that is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I said the F word, so.
Yeah, but that's not offensive to a specific.
I drank this whole bottle. It's all gone. It's like a little bit.
Yeah, you guys have no idea the outtakes between the parts. You guys have no idea.
Those will never be available to the public.
No, they won't. They will not be. They will not be available to anyone.
Shame.
Shame. Shame. What was I saying? Yeah, so Frank Miller sucks. And then the other script I read that never get made was George A. Romero's script for a Resident Evil movie, which, as you can imagine, was much in my interest wheel.
Big deal to you.
Yeah. It's like the guy who did the Dead trilogy wrote a Resident Evil script. And for the record, it wasn't perfect, but it was much, much better than the Resident Evil movies that we got. So, take that for what we will. Anyway, that was The Usual Suspects. Well, we went on a tangent with that one. Number 74. But I will stall so Tara gets back into her chair. Da ba 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 da ba. Ba da 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 ba.
Grab my comics.
Oh, she's doing this live on there. So number 74 is The Rocketeer.
This movie I don't think holds up as well as people think. I think the memory of the Rocketeer is a lot better than the actual film. Good music though.
I think the memory of Jennifer Connelly at a certain age is maybe what holds this one up for most people.
God, I have Captain Canuck.
You're such a stereotype. You're such a stereotype. Next up, number 73 is Pirates of the Caribbean.
All right. I mean, yeah, I like the first Pirates quite a bit, actually. Oh, hi, Gus.
Not for me. No, oh, hey, Kat.
What do you think about pirates? Yeah.
So, I don't know if you just said it there, but are you a Caribbean or Caribbean person?
Oh, it depends on how it's used in a sentence.
Okay.
Because at Disneyland the ride is the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I interchange David Bowie and Bowie like every time I say his name. Like some people are like dead set. That's the way they say it. I switch like every single time. Next up, at number 72 is A Few Good Men.
Oh, I mean, I'm always going to be supportive of Tom Cruise. He's my lover. Oh, look, I also have Archie versus Predator.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Of course I do.
There's nothing wrong with that. Next up, number 71, Vertigo.
Okay. Hitchcock?
Hitchcock. It's not his best. When I saw it last time I saw it, I thought, oh,
the 70s seems alright, though.
Yeah, some pacing issues, but like, yeah, there's a good movie in the end. It's a very personal Hitchcock film, actually. There's a lot of meta stuff in there about how Hitchcock views women and how he always was trying to make the perfect woman in his eyes.
I never cared for this super suit.
It's a bit skimpy, and her current costume's pretty cool. In the comics.
Wolverine. Frank Miller Wolverine.
That was Supergirl, by the way, for the audio listeners. You don't get to see the comics that Tara's holding up.
I always like this cover.
And the classic Wolverine with his claws popped out. It's number 70. I'm trying to keep this somewhat on track. Barry Lyndon.
I've never seen this movie, actually. I love the Coen brothers, so...
Believe it or not, Tara, I think this is the first one in the entire 100 so far that I have not seen.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
it's not Coen brothers. It's Kubrick.
Excuse
me. I've never seen it.
I never even noticed you said that there. Yeah, Kubrick.
I did. I said Coen brothers, which I've never seen their first movie either. But yeah, this is a Kubrick film I've never seen. I think it's a war movie also.
You're thinking of Barton Fink? Is that the film they did?
No, I've seen that one. That one came after Fargo, and it was about a guy who had writer's block after he had a huge success. So it was very meta.
Very meta, okay. Number 69. Good number.
Hot.
We both made the exact same joke. Blade Runner.
Whatever. This movie sucks. We'll wait to review it on the 8th, but this movie is not very good.
Yeah.
Wait. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes I watch it and I go, I don't see what people see. I'd love the sequel, though. Blade Runner 2049 is a masterpiece.
I will say this.
It's just like, eh.
Rutger Hauer is...
Jim Lee, Batman and Robin. I got it.
Rutger Hauer is fantastic in it, and his speech at the end in the rain is a really great movie scene. I just wish the rest of the movie lived up to it.
That was all improvised.
I know. I'm saying I wish the movie lived up to that moment. Is what I'm saying. Anyway,
have these.
Number. Tara's went so off the rails here. Number 68 is Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, I like this one. We brought it up earlier.
We did. Yeah.
I brought it up because I'm a drunken fool.
All right. Number 67 is The Prestige.
Oh, yeah. Another Nolan movie.
Uh-huh.
It's all right. Speaking of Nolan, I got a Batman comic from the 1940s.
Whoa.
Pretty cool. I think so.
I knew you were older, but Jesus.
I know, right?
What was World War II like, Tara? So that's The Prestige number...
We had to board up all our windows so that nobody would know where we lived.
Number 66, Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Overrated. I don't speak British. I'm not a big fan of like the Monty Python crew. I like more I love A Fish Called Wanda. Like that's a hilarious film.
Tara, you're earning so many points right now because I don't really like Monty Python that much, but I do like Fish Called Wanda quite a bit.
I don't think it's very funny.
If you want golden John Cleese outside of Fish Called Wanda, Fawlty Towers is where you go for it. Monty Python, not for me. But there you go. I've just upset like all of our UK audience has just got so mad at me right there. Number 65 is Forrest Gump.
Yeah, Forrest Gump's a very watchable movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. It's a movie that makes the generation before us feel pretty good about themselves, even though it's not. They shouldn't. That's about it. That's what I'm saying. That's all I have to say about that.
Number 64 is American Psycho.
Yeah, I know. I know I've brought this up before, but like American Psycho is a movie that I like when I saw it, and I kind of started to dislike it just because the kind of people who really liked the movie made me dislike the movie more.
I like American Psycho quite a bit, and I will remind the co-host that this is a quick fire. Although now at this point it doesn't matter. We've only got 15 left. Number 60.
I'm the goddamn Batman here.
Number 63 is Memento.
Okay, yeah, it's a good Nolan film.
I like it a lot.
I guess I should have expected Nolan to be all over this list. I'm sure he's going to be number 1 also.
Hey, you don't know that. You don't know that.
I think I know that.
You think you know things.
I think I know it.
But you do not know things. Number 62 is Moon, and this is fantastic. It's amazing.
I love this movie.
It's phenomenal. This
is the movie that made me go, really, Sam Rockwell should be a star.
Mm-hmm.
He's incredible. Clearly, he can hold his own. And now he has an Oscar.
It's a wonderful,
not for the right movie, but that's okay.
Wonderful, wonderful film. And if you want a good Sam Rockwell movie, that's a nice, fun little time with Anna Kendrick. Watch Mr. Right. I enjoyed that immensely. Not as good as Moon by any means. It's just a fun little romp, but it's got Sam Rockwell dancing in it, and Sam Rockwell dancing is always good.
He dances in Confessions of a Serial Killer or something like that. I can't remember.
I said Dangerous Mind.
Dangerous Mind.
Yeah.
He's a good dancer.
Number
Fosse Verdon, which I haven't watched.
Number 61, Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
I mean, yeah, this movie's great. It should be way higher than whatever this number is.
No fighting in the war room.
There's no fighting in the war room. Gentlemen, please.
Number 60 is To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, great book. Great movie, too. I mean, Gregory Peck's so great. Great.
Excellent.
Great.
Number 59, Full Metal Jacket.
I love this movie. I'm glad that Kubrick's entire filmography has made the top 100.
Nope. Well, we haven't got to a few yet, but doesn't seem like we're going to get Path to Glory or The Killing or Lolita, which I think are all maybe better than some of the ones that have come up. But hey, I mean that's.
I've never seen Lolita.
It's good.
It's a movie that the subject matter seemed uncomfortable, so I've never.
Well, it kind of is. It does a good job of keeping it kind of light and funny despite it, but it also is poking at a really problematic thing and does it with tact. It's quite impressive for its time. Anyway, number 58, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. I mean, we get one of the best villains of all time with Nurse Ratched.
Yes.
Who later goes on to the hit television series Star Trek Deep Space Nine, where she becomes Kai Wynn, who is a supervillain.
Okay.
Great.
Number 57, and this is maybe one where, if you want to say the fans are stroking my ego a little bit, Paris, Texas didn't make it here, and I thank them because...
Well, I've never watched it. I'm sure it's great.
It's great. It's my number 2 favorite film of all time. It is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm just going to look at that.
I've never seen it. But what am I going to say? That the actor's not great? Of course he's great.
56, Inglourious Bastards.
It's a good one.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Number 55, Ghostbusters.
It's fun.
Yeah, back to rapid fire then. 54, Saving Private Ryan.
I love the first 40 minutes of the movie because it's all D-Day and I love that scene.
Yes.
That scene is life-changing. But after that ends, the movie's kind of okay from there.
Sappy. Sappy, sapparoo.
Is that true, guys?
Number 53, Gladiator.
Well, got some Ridley Scott. I mean, yeah, Gladiator is not my favorite. It tends to be a lot of people I meet's favorite film, but
I like it a lot, but it's
I like it too. It's easy to watch and it's got a great villain. But
I mean, to be fair, I think the 3 Ridley Scott films that have popped up, which are Alien, Gladiator, and Blade Runner. Like, even though I don't love Blade Runner, those are definitely the 3 most well-known films that he's done. Those are definitely the 3 biggest.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that makes sense. Number 52 is Batman Begins.
Okay. I mean, I like this movie a lot. It really changed the game when it came to superhero films. It's like, oh, I didn't realize we could take Batman seriously again.
Yeah.
And that was a huge step.
Yeah, absolutely.
Towards the franchises that we have now.
You can hear me and Cara talk about it at length. Number 51 is Taxi Driver.
Okay.
Yeah, which is actually my favorite Scorsese film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Over Wolf of Wall Street? That's my favorite.
I like Taxi Driver first, and then my second favorite is Hugo, which is a really oddball pick, but I love that movie.
I've never seen it.
I think you'd like it.
But I had a French film professor who told me that it was her favorite movie. They watched it a lot in the class, but I never watched it. So it's on my list because I really respect her opinion. So if she really likes Hugo, then I will watch it.
Right. So, I mean, that was quicker than the other entries, but I mean, it was still like 30 minutes for the quickfire new batch of 50. And I'm going to jump in here from the future. See, my voice and my lips don't match anymore because I'm recording this after the fact. Basically, the quickfire sort of rundown from 50 to number 2 ended up being a bit of a shambles and did not really account for much. So I'm just recording it after the fact, and it'll just cut back in when I get to number 1 for the actual content part, because the material from 50 to number 2 was kind of unusable. So here we go. Number 50 was Casablanca, 49 was Toy Story, 48 was Oldboy, 47 Reservoir Dogs, 46 Diabolique, 45 Stand By Me, 44 Return of the Jedi, 43 Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 42 The Incredibles, 41 The Goonies, 40 Clockwork Orange, 39 The Terminator, 38 Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, 37 Jurassic Park, 36 Drive, 35 Django Unchained, 34 Kill Bill, 33 The Thing, 32 Serenity, 31 Seven, 30 The Matrix, 29 The Silence of the Lambs, 28 12 Angry Men, 27 The Exorcist, 26 Halloween, 25 The Godfather Part 2, 24 Jaws, 23 Goodfellas, 22 The Empire Strikes Back, 21 Mulholland Drive, 20 The Avengers, 19 Psycho, 18 The Godfather, 17 The Shining, 16 Terminator 2 Judgment Day, 15 Seven Samurai, you see what I did there, 14 Apocalypse Now, 13 The Good, The Bad and the Ugly, 12 Rear Window, 11 Die Hard, 10 Star Wars, 9 Aliens, 8 Alien, 7 Back to the Future, 6 2001 A Space Odyssey, 5 Pulp Fiction, 4 Raiders of the Lost Ark, 3 Inception, 2 The Shawshank Redemption. And the moment we've all been waiting for. Number 1 on the movies voted for by you guys for the top 100 films of all time. Number 1 is
The Dark Knight?
The Dark Knight.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
I hate that they were that predictable for you.
So predictable. Oh, God. Come Come on, guys. Come on.
I guess the question is now.
This guy.
Yes, I mean, The Dark Knight's a phenomenal film. It definitely belongs up high. I mean, does it belong at number one? You know, that's debatable. But it's one of those things where because so many people have it high up, that's why it ultimately wins. You know. So.
It's a bit long.
Sure, yeah. But I guess the question is now is looking at the whole list then, looking at this whole top 50, top 100. How do you feel about it as a whole? Do you think there's too many mistakes and wrong entries for it to be, you know, feel like a good, like, you know, like if you were going to give a list of movies to someone for, hey, you not seen any movies before? Here's a list of the 100 movies you should more or less watch. Like, is this something?
I mean, there's definitely an array of style and significance in the film industry that this is definitely a good list of, yeah, hello aliens, welcome to Earth, here, learn about our culture. Here's these 100 films. Not my personal 100 choice, definitely a different order for me.
Which is why we're going to do Tara's top 100 films at some point.
At some point.
And I can sit here
after I've watched 100 movies.
And I can sit here and like critique the entries as we go.
You'll be like, wait, no honorable mention for Serenity at least?
And where is Drive? Why are you so stuck up? Like Drive, women? Why don't you understand about this?
Sorry. If there's a Ryan Gosling film on my list of 100 movies, it's going to be The Nice Guys.
I can't fault that. Nice Guys is a great movie.
Great movie.
That great movie. So there you go. That's been the top 100. That is the top 100 movies voted for by you guys. I'll reiterate that we're doing a horror version of this top 50. So send in your list to mftvquestions@gmail.com before the 20th of October. That is the deadline. So yeah. So we got to the end of this shambles.
We did it.
There's at least one part I know I'm going to edit out and just record a version of my own. But
what is that?
Let's just say the quickfire of the recapping of like 50 through number 2 was a little bit
we are just like
mundane. Yeah. I'm not blaming you. It was a bad idea. I'm just going to quickly do a recording of, you know, saying those names, and then I'll just cut back into me being like, hey, and the moment I've been waiting for. Like, that's all I'll do. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. I do think it's funny though that the quickfire of 100 through 51 was not as quick as I had envisioned it in my head. Especially once Tara started looking through comic books halfway through.
I was trying to find I'm the goddamn Batman and I couldn't find it.
Oh, I could look up what issue it was if you want a minute.
I have the first 5 issues.
I think it's in the first 5. It feels like that's about right. But regardless, that does bring an end to this wrap up, this results show, this countdown. You can let us know what you think of all the results in the comments, reveal your own lists, and so on and so on. You can support everything we do, of course, by going where, Tara? Where can they go?
Oh, you can check out our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/SmileFuzzTV. And donating as little as $1 per month gets you all the outtakes, which is usually me just rambling for on and on about a subject that doesn't matter, and then Peter will cut it out and make it a bonus for Patreon only. So enjoy.
You also get early access to some things at the $5 tier, as well as voting rights. You get bonus episodes in the $1 tier of various shows, including the Ace or Sci-Fi Movie Podcast, as well as Screams After Midnight or Horror Movie Podcast. So go and have a look. Helps keep all the content coming. Otherwise, like, subscribe, all the usual things. Ding the bell so you always get the notifications on YouTube. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. I'm not looking forward to editing this one. But that is what us.
I'm sorry I decided to look through the comics. I'm just so drunk.
It's okay. Tara, it's fine. You're perfectly entertaining.
Mistake.
And I want to thank Tara, actually. At the end of this show, I want to thank Tara for agreeing to be on this, because this was not really assigned to anyone. I just said, hey, Tara, do you want to do this? And she said yes. So here she is.
You're welcome.
So she gets some props.
That was your first mistake.
Nah, the first mistake was I started a YouTube channel. That was the first mistake. But that is
look at you now.
That is us.
6,500 subscribers later.
I know. Getting there. Getting to 10,000. We're getting there. That is us, though. Thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching movies, guys. And if you can get it, it's always nice to have diplomatic immunity.